Welcome back. Today I am going to do another page in my traveler's notebook, and I'm going to use the new stamp set from Kellie Stamps. It's called I Make Messes. And really the whole idea for this page came from one of these stamps. So the stamp says Craft Girl Problems, and when I was looking at the stamp set and I saw this stamp and I thought, yep, that's right. I do have a lot of craft girl problems. So I decided to document them. That's what I'm going to make my entire page about today. So I'm really only going to use this particular stamp. I am stamping it onto the left-hand side of my notebook, and I'm just using a kind of light grey ink. This is quite a tight stack as far as repeat stamping stamps go. And my notebook is a little bit kind of bumpy and chunky, and so the stamping probably wasn't super great, but really I just wanted to get this kind of just overall pattern on the page. I'm going to end up covering a lot of it with my photo anyway. It didn't take a whole lot of time to do. I did mask off the right hand side of my page with a little bit of post-it tape. I don't know where I'm going to replace this post-it tape from. I'm pretty sure it came from Studio Calico like many years ago. I do find it super handy for like projects like this. I've often masked the side of a page like this with just a scrap of paper, but having that tape on it just means it doesn't shift about so much. So there's a little hint. If you can, if you know where I can get some more of that post-it tape from, please let me know. I find it super handy, and I'm almost at the end of my roll, I think. So here we go. I've stamped all the way to the top. Like I said, the stamping's not perfect, but once you kind of fill a whole page like this, you don't really notice those imperfections quite as much. Now, like I said, I knew what this page was going to be about, and so I have already gone ahead and done my journaling as such, which is to type out some of my craft girl problems. Now, I realize that in the scope of the world, these are very minimal problems indeed. They're often things that I think about when I'm running, when I'm crafting, sorry, it's, running out of daylight and having to clean up the desk after you've made something. And my number one craft girl problem is never enough ease. You know this. I'm forever running out of ease. They never put enough ease in alphas. My number one problem. Now, so like I said, I've typed these out. I've just typed them out on some like scrap cardstock, and I've pulled out a few of my label stamp sets, and I'm just kind of trying to match the labels to the size of the typing that I've done. Some of them are quite tight, and some of them there's a lot of space, but eventually I get them all stamped out. I have done 5 different problems. I figured that was enough. I could probably have kept going. That was enough complaining. And I've chosen 3 different blue inks. So I'm still on my no pink kick for June. So I've gone with quite a minimal kind of color scheme here. I've used the gray on the left, and I've used the blues here for the labels. All of those colors come directly from my photo, which is fairly neutral in color. There's a lot of white, there's a lot of sort of gray tones, and then a bright blue computer screen. So that's where those colors have come from. There are like 5 stamps, and I've stamped in 3 different colors. So 2 of them have this like bright blue. One is kind of a little bit more of a grayer blue. A kind of like sky blue, and the other one's a kind of gray. And it's just kind of to try and balance out those colors. I didn't want them all to be the same, and I didn't want them all to be super bright. So I think it kind of balances out nicely to try to, it's kind of a 3 focus, because I've got those 2 brighter blue labels and then that bright blue computer screen over on the left hand side. I randomly stacked those labels, so a couple of them hang off the page and a couple of them overlap, really trying to make it a little bit more random looking rather than so thought out and precise. And then I am going to add a title on here. I'm using some black foam alphas, which to be honest, isn't helping the bulk situation of my notebook, but I'm nearly at the end of it anyway, so I'm just going to go for it. I'm literally just going to repeat the title as from the stamp. So it says Craft Girl Problems, and that's exactly what I'm spelling out with my letters. My initial thought was that I would put Craft Girl over on the left and Problems on the right. And after I've used my ruler guide and I've sort of pressed those letters down on the left, but as I'm like spelling out the letters over on the right, I decide that I actually don't like them separated like that. They're not separated enough for it to look purposeful. It just looks like I've put a really mistaken large gap in the middle. So what I end up doing is peeling the ones off the left. I'm gonna put down Problems on the right and just stack that Craft Girl on top of Problems. One thing I will say is I've left my my little foam alphas here. They sit in a trolley, and the trolley sits in the sun, and the sun has degraded the adhesive on these alphas pretty significantly. So there's a hint. Don't leave them in the sun. They do still stick on the paper, so I'm not going back into like adhere these down with glue or anything. I think they're fine just as they are, but just a little hint for you, don't do what I've done. So since I moved that title over onto the right, the left-hand side of the page is looking a tiny bit empty. So I'm going to stamp out another one of those bright blue labels and pop that over there just for a bit of focus and attention. Since I've already sort of done my journaling as such, I decided I would just stamp the date on there. So it's just the date that the photo was taken. I don't often date things in my traveler's notebook, but here we are. That's what fills in the page. And then I went through my stash and I found these very old enamel darts, but I liked that they had the blues in there. But to stop it becoming a little bit too kind of boring as far as colors go, I'm adding a few of those little peachy dots as well. I'm not counting them as pink. They're most definitely peach. And that's my page all done. As usual, there is a discount code for you in the description box, so don't forget to check that out if you want to grab these stamps for yourself. Thank you for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.